Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Wandering Party.
Hello.
Today, the first person to say hello is going to do the recap for the session we've just recorded. Thank you for volunteering, Silent.
I mean, I would have volunteered for the first session, but you didn't want to do a recap. So,
No.
Hello, friends. Welcome to The Wandering Party.
Welcome. Hello.
You're a bit slow there, Ross. Don't worry, we'll do this a few more times and you'll get up to speed.
It's all right, I'm just slow generally.
Okay, so, last session, we ran through the Underdark because there were scary things that wanted to kill us. Like, literally, there was a thing with claws as big as the human, like, ripping through doorways. That was great fun. But we managed to evade it by going into a secret tunnel under a drow house. I don't know if it was one of the big houses or a lesser house. I don't know drow culture. I'm a dwarf. Anyhow, luckily, the secret passage we took was protected so it couldn't get through, though it really did try. But there were mushrooms. They are kind of disconcerting with their sheer volume, so we started running down this underground tunnel until we got to a section where there was no mushrooms, like just a 10-foot by 10-foot area, whether it was a tube, a sphere, a dodecahedron, we're not certain, but we were safe. So we were standing in this area when we start debating whether or not there's like something special about it, like maybe it's an antifungal field, maybe it's just really coated in fungicide, maybe there's a monster coming out of the wall that jumps at us and like hits a invisible wall of force of some description. Anyway, we managed to solve the puzzle, Dwarf Instrumental, in opening this part of the tunnel wall, just essentially faded out of existence. Suddenly, there are crossbows aimed at us. And then Zanzyk gets beaten up by someone who turns out to be Zanzyk's brother. Now, we are sat in a drow encampment, discussing plans for getting out the next day. We left with everyone pouring all of their healing into the drow survivors as the wizard decides to read a comic book. And Ret Sam says, oh, I should probably go and offer a beer to the dwarf and tell him not to be an idiot. And that's where we pick up. And that's where we pick up, Ross.
Perfect. Sorry, I did say I'm just a bit slow.
No, it's fine. Everyone's a bit tired tonight.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Red Sam. You are led to a side cavern that has been sealed off by the only door you've seen so far.
I wish to inspect this door.
It is crudely put together, made of this sort of... It's not quite wood. It's much more like, I guess, the flesh of a mushroom, like the giant mushroom trees you saw in the forest.
I will knock upon the door.
You hear a grumbled, badly, like it's said in a really badly accented undercommon that sounds dwarven. And then as you don't enter, there's then a dwarven come in.
Well, if you insist, and I'll kind of head in as soon as I'm able.
There's a dwarf sat on a makeshift like bed thing that sort of looks at you as he's like pushing himself up from laying down his to be on his elbow so he can look at you. It's like, who the bloody hell are you then? How are you doing it actually in the Underdark?
I've been here for like a day or two. Name's Ret Sam, here to make like a leaf and get you the bark out of here.
Oh, fuck. My dad sent you, didn't he?
I mean, it was part of the agreement to get access. I mean, don't get me wrong. Gonna get you out, but you were... I have my own drow, and these drow are kin to my drow, so We're here to rescue them and rescue you.
Right. Well, they ain't killed me. I'm not a mushroom thing, but I can't go back.
Because you ran off with the axe of power, right?
Yeah, that's about the size of it. Yeah,
We heard.
gotta
We
get
heard.
it back.
We're here to help. How are you doing? You okay with the health?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty banged up still. He looks down at his gut, which is he's heavily bandaged, by what you assume bandages, the makeshift bandages. For a dwarf, this individual very much looks like his father. Like it's quite gruff around the edges, but he's clearly significantly younger. There's a lot of damage to his midsection, just based on the amount of bandaging that's present.
I am going to offer him some lay on hands.
As you do so, he grimaces. As you see like small amounts of smoke emerge from under the bandaging.
It's okay. He sees smoke coming out of my right arm.
And he grimaces as he like twitches as you lay on hands. He's like, as much as I appreciate it, that's really quite painful.
Yeah, but we need you in better condition, so if you can...
Yeah, well, that's not fucking working, is it? Because that really fucking hurts.
You have two choices. You can either get out with the drow, and I have spoken with Zanzyks' brother, whose name I would no doubt have picked up through conversation over the years.
You can. Do you ever name your brother? Or did you just refer to him as my brother?
My nameless brother.
Right, let's go check the sheet.
I'm presuming I would have. I apparently have it noted on my sheet and everything's... Nope, that's an admiral. It's a dragon.
Claire has not named her Sans brother.
Well, that's not important right this
the
second.
druids that mess with my garden.
You can either get out with the dwarf while we distract the queen, or you can come with us. If you're coming with us, I'm going to need you to be a bit more physically capable. So it's going to hurt.
Physically capable. He pushes himself to his feet and he lands on his feet. He's barefoot. There's a slapping of his feet hitting the floor. He stands up. There's just an almighty fuck. He grimaces and holds his stomach.
Yep.
I know Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw?
Yeah.
That's a 14.
This dwarf, there's clearly something wrong with this dwarf because that is putrid even by your standards. Like, that makes your nose go, oh, fuck off.
I'm going to press upon him to tell me the full story.
What do you mean, the full story? He says, look at you, what do you want to know?
Like, something's amiss. You smell like you're rotting away, lad.
Well, I mean, I might as well be at this point. But I came down here with a group of me, we got pissed. We did what all dwarves do when they get super pissed. We went to go fuck up some drow bastards, didn't we? Little raid, never hurt nobody. Other than the drow, just fuck them. Sorry, the nasty drow. Fuck the nasty drow. He says, carefully differentiating as he realizes where he is. And, well, there weren't the drow, and we kept going, and then there were these weird mushroom things. And then, they stabbed me a lot. And I fell over, and then the other drow came back and picked me up and, put me back together a bit. They said they dug out as much as they could, but they didn't really have very much in the way of healers, so the rest of it has to work its way out naturally, as it were.
Okay. In the morning, I'm going to give you a bit of restoration, okay?
Right, well, let's stop the farting, because I'll be real. My nose hurts.
It's probably going to get everything out in one big fart, like one fart
The
to rule
dwarf
them
just
all.
starts crying. not a big fart. The little ones hurt. The big ones are unbearable.
Just don't ask anyone to pull your finger.
He chuckles.
But here's the thing: we are going to. We have 2.5 objectives. I say at half because priorities. First, the drought. Second, you. That's not in order of importance, it's in order of volume.
He looks
Half
at his diminished skirt.
is
Yeah,
your
that's probably
axe.
about right. What?
So the half is the axe. We will do all we can to get it. But if we can only get you out, that is the priority.
That is the priority.
I am not looking to get a war between our clans.
You misunderstand. That axe is the priority. My dad will tell you that much, the cold bastard.
I ain't your dad, so
Yeah, no, you misunderstand. He will just fucking kill me and send me back for the axe, or he'll just, he'll kill me or send me back for the axe.
I mean, if I get you out, you can put yourself back together and then come back for the axe.
I mean, I
Plans.
guess works. But
It is not
the one that lost the axe.
It's not always a here or now thing. We can
Well,
build a
it
plan
is.
to come back for the axe. That's why it is not the priority. But
Okay, are you
if
trying to
going for the
persuade
axe
this
ends up
dwarf
with
or
you
lie
dead,
to him?
I don't know if I can bring you back.
Are you trying to persuade this dwarf or lie to him that your opportunities to come back?
Now, I'm going to persuade. I am being completely honest, telling him that if we cannot, I will happily work with him to come back and get that axe. I will build a contingent to come back with him.
You realise the original plan is to make it impossible to return to this section of the Underdark once you leave.
Yep, but we can always. There's always going to be a way to get stuff done.
Okay.
Right, persuading. 11.
He looks at you and frowns. I choose to believe you. You're lying to me. Bad things will happen to you.
I'm not telling you that I have a perfect plan. I'm telling you that as long as you survive, we can make a plan.
Fine.
I mean, I have to believe that there will always be a way. There will always be a path. It may just be one that we have to build ourselves.
That sounds like some of that faithful bullshit.
When you have debates with the custodian of fate, sometimes you internalize a bit of fate versus destiny, you know?
Somewhere in heavens, the god of fate has just stopped drinking from his can of nondescript cola. He looked at it. Finally, someone fucking understands. Also, this bitch empty. Yeet. Just lobs the can into the bin. No one's sure why.
You got a cup with you?
The dwarf looks at you and is like, well, I did. But they said it got lost that fungus residue in it and they couldn't clean it, so they destroyed it.
What have they been giving you? I assume that there's some kind of drink that they've been giving you.
Yeah, they call it water.
Have they not been giving you a cup for that? Or are they taking it away in case you sharpen it into a weapon?
Well, I think they're taking it away because every time I drink, he looks at his gut. Look, it's not been a pleasant time to me, alright?
I am going to take out the cup from my meal kits, pour some beer into it, and offer it to him.
Actual beer.
Yeah.
Takes the cup and downs it immediately. Perfect. Good stuff. Good stuff. I haven't had beer in ages.
And if we get you out, I'll buy you a pint of the stuff.
Done.
It's okay. I know the guy who makes it.
Fair. Right. So how the hell are we getting out then?
Well, you have to answer my question. Are you going out with the drow so that you can build a plan
Let
to
me be
come back
clear.
stronger, or
Let me be clear. Fuck the drow.
yeah, I know, but
I
your
ain't running
safety.
away with women and children and non-combatant drow.
Well,
That's not how this fucking dwarf works.
then
Ain't
we
with
are going to
minions.
make a bit of a scene tomorrow to draw the bitch queen's eyes towards us so that everyone else can get out. We're
Good.
going to, what was it they said? Blind her and then punch her in the throat.
Even better. I like that both literally and metaphorically. Sounds fun.
That's the plan. If that means, you know what? I'm probably the one person here who can blind her while punching her in the throat. Literally.
He just looks at you. Okay, cool. You got a party trick. Nice. You've
Yeah.
also got a fucking tree growing out of your arm, mate.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah, it's it's a gift from Gond.
What does it mean? You're all bark and no bite.
It means that my roots run deep, and at my core, I can shatter mountains.
Well, if the tree's roots are growing into you, does that mean you're the root of all the tree's problems?
Well, I asked the tree to leave me alone, but what can I say? It seems attached.
Imagine it's probably a bracing experience. I'll be honest, I've run out of tree puns.
Well, there's one other thing. I pull out one of my marks of Gond. I tell him if he gets out and, he's not with us, if he gets to Frey Hollow and gets to the Wanderer's Rest, that coin will give him a bit of leniency with the bar
You hear him half like,
and beer.
you're a Gondian, ain't you?
I'm what you might consider a reform church of the Gondian ways.
Wait, you're that lout they had to deal with that trial about?
I'm, the quote unquote heretic.
Nice. Ishay said, sorry, sleep deprivation and beer. It's an interesting combination.
Don't worry, don't apologize. Here to help get you out, get everyone out, get the axe, burn this place to the ground.
Yeah, what I'm going to do now then is I'm going to go sleep, and then I'm going to find a weapon, and we're going to go and stab some mushroom people.
You rest. We'll see about getting you kitted out in the morning.
Yeah, you can hear him snoring already.
I said, okay, and I will leave.
He just sat down and fell asleep.
Gonna head back to the group so that I can find somewhere to put my head down for the night.
Most of the party, probably those who wanted to heal are still healing, and I will then at that point cut to Celeste, who wants to do some book shenanigans.
Book shenanigans.
Book shenanigans like a shameless nerd.
Right. First, I'm going to see if this book is trapped or anything.
You want to check the book is trapped? Roll an investigation check.
Prank traps or whatever, I don't know. Because Westy. Investigation.
Well, he's going to hear you every time you fucking call him out. He's fucking never go at you.
Oh, be useful. Oh.
On a 10, you do not find any pranks.
Oh, well. Why would they pull something with the book? They already pulled things with the rubrics. With the cube. We should go ahead and
You open the book.
Yeah.
You open the book. And you find written in the neat script of your mentor on the front page, there's the simple title of Arcane Grimoire, enchanted by the Lord Archduke Westminster, or, and then it has your full name written under it, Celeste.
Oh,
You then turn the page.
yeah.
You then note that in his handwriting, in your cipher, are spells.
Ooh, her eyes are lighting up.
You
She's
read the
excited.
first few pages. They're all spells you know. In fact, they're all spells in your spellbook that you've written in the same order you've written them in.
No way.
And then
Wait.
the most recent pages are of your newest spells in the exact order you've written them in.
She's comparing both books now.
This book is vastly different to your book.
She's comparing like the writing things stuff.
It's in Westminster's handwriting in the new book.
How did he know? Wait, what?
There is no logical way you can think of that Westminster would know of your new spells.
How did what? There's a shiver that goes through her spine.
You do note there is one leaf at the back that looks like it's out of place slightly. Almost like it's just every bit of paper that's tucked in.
Open to that page.
A note falls out.
I pick up and read the note.
Dear Celeste, I hope this letter finds you well. No doubt you'll be rather perturbed about the fact that this spellbook is in my handwriting and in the exact order all of your spells are written in. And you cannot think of any logical reason I would know A, your cipher, because I told you to keep that secret to yourself, nor the exact order in which you described your spells, including your spelling mistake on page 36.
What? She checks 36.
There is a spelling mistake in the title of the spell.
Oh, god dang it.
You'll note on his one where he's written, he has corrected it for you. What you hold in your hands is an item that I spend no small amount of time personally enchanting. This is a true arcane grimoire. It will require you to attune to it. Should you elect to use it as a spellcasting focus for your spells, you will gain a bonus. Well, mechanically, you gain a bonus, some stuff. He will describe it as you will gain a benefit to the potency of your spells, and it'll become more difficult for your enemies to resist your spells. This is a spellbook, and it might also assist you with some of its innate magic with your own arcane recovery, should you need it. I know this will open for you right before you step into, we'll call it the deep dark, shall we? But you won't read it until you're in the cavern of the last of the drow. How do I know this? I'm very good at my job. Also, my name is Westminster. I don't like it when it's abbreviated. It's fine. The Archduke of Viken, Westminster.
She will pocket that note.
I had to put it to you. You now have an arcane grimoire that's +3.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
She's just staring at it, just eyes wide in shock.
This is a very, very magical book, and it reeks of Westminster's magic.
She'll get to attuning right away.
Mm-hmm. You have time while everyone else is doing things. So, the rest of you spend a lot of your time healing. After some book shenanigans, you can all have a long rest.
Okay.
I mean, I'll be honest, I appreciate the long rest.
You're all basically just there's nowhere really private for you guys to sleep. You're just given some space to put your bedrolls down.
Yep, that's good enough.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I am a dwarf and I dig a diggy hole.
Diggy
That's
diggy
right,
hole.
Sleep with his back against the wall.
Does that sleep?
No, he can't. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
Red Sam is going to sleep with his back against the Zansk.
That's about 4 hours when you cease meditating. Red Sam is propped up against your side, like on your chest. It's like.
And Alice will spread her bedroll out in front of them with Sal grasped in one hand, ready to kill something if needs be.
Celeste
The
is
dwarf is
hugging
cuddling
her.
the drow.
Celeste is hugging her gift.
The wizard is being the bibliophile that she secretly is.
She's
You're
a
being
wizard.
on the
There's no secret that she's a bibliophile.
Oh, we should start a library for Celeste.
Put space in the school.
Yeah. How would you feel about running the school library, Celeste? You get to go hunting ancient tomes.
Books. But ancient tomes
Books?
are nice.
This is your sending your room service. So I don't want to say a new day dawns because you're in the fucking Underdark and that's not how this shit works. Beth is shouting me, but she's entirely
No.
muted.
Mechanically, does it class as a new dawn? Because if it does class as a new dawn, I get my super power.
Here's the glorious thing is you have no idea. Because it's the dawn, it recharges.
In theory, there is a dawn somewhere.
Yeah, but you can't see it, so you're not aware of it. If you're
Yeah,
not
but
aware of something,
that's
how
not
can you say it's...
specified. It doesn't say you have to be aware of the dawn. Just
Yeah,
that.
but
when
so what
the
I'm
new-
saying, Beth, is it may well have recharged, but you don't know. Because it may well have recharged at a dawn if dawn has passed, but you have no way of knowing if dawn has passed because you're in the Underdark. And they haven't quite made a skylight that impressive for the Underdark just yet.
I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed because I have a feeling we might need it.
Mm-hmm. Fine. That's you wake up with your 4-hour meditation.
I look at the dwarf.
Red Sam is
I
quite
sigh.
literally leaning against you asleep.
I sigh.
Alice is sprawled out at your feet asleep. And Celeste is curled up beside you all around her book, protectively, scribbling slightly on the top page.
I would druid craft that for her because I know how much she would dislike scribbling actually on her book.
To protect the book at all costs. There are several drow milling about, and they are looking as they walk past at the fact that you've got the loudest snoring dwarf they've ever encountered. And the 2 humans are still asleep, and they're just like, it's been 4 hours, why aren't they awake? They all look puzzled. You get that's what it is, but they don't actually vocalize it.
He just kind of half shrugs with one shoulder.
As you move, Red Sam subconsciously just solos into your shoulder a little more. Snores louder.
Ideal. It's normal.
It's a drow pillow now. Your 4 hours of being partially imprisoned by a dwarf. What would you like to do?
He will probably spend a good hour reading his book from a listry, which he's not actually taken out whilst he's been in the Underdark. He will read through it, read through the pages, try and connect with the listry's teachings.
You're praying, is that what you're doing?
A little bit like that.
That positive you guys are. Like, I'm just a pray to my God who I've not prayed to in days. Please don't let me die.
No, just reconnecting with teachings. redo my spells.
Yep.
Then I would like to escape my dwarven prison, please. Without waking the dwarf.
Roll me a dexterity check. Let Sam roll me a strength check.
I am a dwarf and I diggy snore. 15.
You escape, but the dwarf is now hugging your leg.
Zanzyks just shrugs and mouth forms.
Rest of your head hits the stonework because a thunk. There's the thing you were leaning on has disappeared. It's only been 5 hours. You are not ready to be awake yet.
Being half asleep, I'm just going to be like, okay. And then I'm just going to cuddle up to the softest thing in front of me.
You cuddle the human.
Which one?
Both of them.
No!
It's my party!
He's in his sleeping bag and he just sort of worms forward and wiggles until he like squishes between the two humans.
Nice and warm.
I read Zanzyks form. The other side of the humans.
The little drow look very amused at this interaction, and the gurgles of pain that come from the sleeping humans as the dwarf wiggles between them.
There are downsides to the upworld, is all Zanzyks says.
A couple of them snicker quietly.
And I will then rest for a while.
Mhm.
I think I'd probably go and see like if there's anything he could do to be useful, like helping them get ready.
Not a great deal. They are pointedly they're used to being self-sufficient now, and they do not want to rely on somebody else, and they don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
They're still proud.
He's essentially looking for busy work.
Yeah, you're not giving it because they're taking it all. So it sounds like you have to loiter, looking awkward for a couple hours.
Then he will look for his brother.
You find your brother, surprisingly, absolutely still meditating. He was awake after you started meditating.
Fair.
And this is probably the few moments of peace he's actually managed to find.
Then he would leave him and see and just wander back.
A number of hours later, after Zanzyks has done his little walk around to see what he can find and what's going on around here, Alice and Celeste wake to the sound of snoring. Loud snoring. As both of you have a dwarven arm thrown over you, as the dwarf is essentially hugging both of you and snoring.
Is he face down or face up?
Next time you face down, did you sleep or face up?
I mean, I think that there was like worming, I would have had to have gone face down.
As you wormed, you face down. Fair.
In that case, I would like to roll over and elbow him in the kidneys. Or a kidney.
Okay. So from your strength check, there's a lot protecting that kidney.
Yeah.
It just agrees. Yes.
I ain't hiding it. I'm proud of it.
That is a 13. I am proud of that.
You don't get a kidney. Sam just sort of wobbles on the spot slightly.
Is it enough to wake him up?
No.
God,
Make
no.
him move?
Yeah, no. Like, it shifts slightly, but like all you watch is just where you just elbow just wobble slightly.
Okay, failing that, I would like to wolf whistle really loudly, right in his ear.
In a confined space that has a hypersensitive hearing drow.
That's a really bad idea.
Every drow looks at you as you do this. Forgets she's in the Underdark, deafens every drow within 200 feet.
I elbow him.
Roll me a strength check. He is unperturbed by your pathetic attempt at elbowing him. Red Sam remains asleep.
Can I try and worm my way out of Retsam's grasp?
Roll me a dexterity check.
That is a 10.
Red Sam, would you like to roll me a strength check?
That is a 20.
You are calm.
Can I try and acrobatics or athletics my way
You're
out.
being
It's grass.
huddled.
That is like that nearby, just trying really hard not to snigger.
You're being cuddled, Alice.
And
Zanzyks.
sorry, I'm busy.
Celeste,
No,
you
you're
couldn't try
not.
to escape.
I've got my book out. I'm drawing in it.
Celeste, you guys try and escape.
Eyes. Zansk. What do you want me to do? Kick
Wake
him
him
up. I try wiggling my way out.
My dexterity check.
My dex.
Yes, you got to wiggle free.
Oh my gosh.
Brett's and roll to cuddle.
I bonk
That's
him
an
on the
8.
head with my new
Oh,
grimoire.
Celeste escapes
Oh,
by the skin of her teeth.
well, I still bonk him on the head with my grimoire.
A strength check. You miss him entirely,
I accidentally hit Alice.
unless you're bonked on the head by a highly magical book.
Sorry. I don't know
I
how I
would
missed.
like to once again try and wiggle my way out. Can I try and acrobatics my way out?
You can try, but you're in a sleeping bag, so your acrobatics
Exactly. I
your
do the
acrobatics
worm.
is going to be doing the worm.
Still acrobatics. That is a 25.
Red Sam. And now 20 or no couples for Red Sam.
To
Oh, God.
Gond, who has guided us through every
I
doorway,
swear if you nat 20.
I will cry.
may my dice roll true.
This is right now once.
4.
Alice, you actually have to think about this. And Zansk, you can see the effort she puts into moving this carefully.
I feel like Zanzyks helps her out a little bit by druid crafting some of bacon just slightly off in a different direction.
No, I just imagine Retsam like Alice is on her back and Retsam's lying with his arm over her, and she just bridges out the pin like it would in wrestling, and then she manages to kind of wiggle away out from under his arm.
And then all that Red Sam was left was hugging the distant memory of his party members as they have escaped. So, Red Sam is still asleep. Everyone else is awoken. Red Sam, as you're now puddling the cold stone ground, how long do you suppose you'd be asleep for?
I think the problem would be once everybody has left, the warmth that has been keeping Retsam content it's going to dissipate within about 15-20 minutes. So not too much longer.
He'll be disturbed from his slumber by the cold.
Who raises Retsam from his slumber?
I mean, you did. I go back to the book.
And with that, I will wake.
Okay? The entire party is now awake, unlike most of the players who are very, very tired. So,
I will put my history book back in my bag.
it is now the day of the event.
Mm-hmm.
How did things go with the dwarf last night, Retsam?
He needs a bit of healing.
Oh?
Yeah, he's a bit rotten down below. It's okay. I'll take care of him, but he's. I think I may have talked him into leaving if he needs, rather than risking his life for the axe, because he can always come back for it.
If his dad lets him live that long.
He doesn't have to go back to his dad immediately.
I mean, the idea is that we close this place off.
Yep.
Right?
We close this place off, but you yourself know that there are many ways in here. We want to get the axe to stop a war, but If it comes down to the axe or people dying, that's an easy choice to make for me.
I mean, I do realize it's just an axe, right?
It's not just an axe. I mean, it is just an axe, but it's not just an axe.
A weapon.
It's ceremonial. It has history, providence. It's
Then talk of it entails.
It's kind of like saying that a mage is just a female drow.
I mean, she is.
It's just not though.
But she
This is like saying that I'm just your standard everyday dwarf, run of the mill, straight out the mines.
But you are.
I mean, I am, but also I've got a tree on my arm.
I can probably cover that if it gets worse. I can't.
So it's just bad rainy. Yeah, just see how that goes. It's fine. People are awake.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to? I'm not sure what you would like to do at this point.
I would like to take the map I've been drawing.
Okay.
I go find his brother.
Your brother has finally awoken from his meditation, having clearly maintained it longer than was strictly necessary, because he clearly wanted the rest or needed it. Now you see him putting gear on, putting on battered armor, various weapons. He yawns as you approach. Trust you had a restful meditation.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad that makes one of us.
Sorry, I would have also spent some of my time with my cauldron.
Okay.
Gives me a great healing potion.
Okay. He just sort of looking at you as you walked in. Am I happy this morning, brother? Or have you just come to be sassy?
I give him a map.
It's a map.
This is the exits.
That's where you remember them being.
Yes.
Figure out whether or not they're still aligned the way you expect them to, given events that happened since you left.
I would imagine they do, otherwise they would hold no value.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'll try and keep enough reserves to keep an eye on you.
Don't bother. I've survived long enough without you watching over me. You probably need
True
them
and
to
not so
survive. So
True and not so true. Our older brother didn't think so.
yeah, well, you sort of that.
Didn't know what you mean. He slipped and fell.
Clearly, slipped and fell and was the most graceful in his class.
I mean, everyone has an off day.
Not when you're a drow.
Well, we just don't live through them.
Now, regardless, I have to confirm my people for moving out, for running, for fighting, and all this other shit you might run into.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to prepare for whatever it is you're gonna fucking do.
I'm gonna go pray to Illustrate
Brave?
at Mother's Shrine.
Oh, you do like just kicking her when she's down, don't you?
I do.
Perfect. You told your friends that's what you're going to do.
I mean, I said I would get her attention.
That will certainly piss her off.
I can't tell you where you'll come up on the overworld.
That's fine, we'll figure it out.
You need to make your way to one of two places.
Okay.
North Dell
Right.
There is a brewery on the outskirts of town.
Okay. It's a brewery.
Or the big cathedral in there. And ask for Ricklin.
Right. Okay.
Or, if you find yourself in the south of the country, you go to Fairspell. Look for a place.
Fairspell?
Yes.
Fair.
It's Fairspell, right?
No.
Frey Hollow.
Yeah, you're looking
Frey
at the
Hollow,
wrong
Fairspell.
country.
Yeah, it's a different country. Oh well.
Different landmass.
Oh, Frey Hollow. And go to the Wanderer's Inn.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find a red dragonborn there. He'll put two and two together pretty quick.
Right. Okay.
We own several of the buildings, so there'll be plenty of people there.
Okay.
Place.
Right. Fair enough.
And try not to kill anyone when you're up there. Also, they don't really like drow.
He just looks you right at the face. I would never have guessed after millennia of literally imprisoning people for forced labour, you'd think they'd love us for it.
Not so much.
That was sarcasm?
My name will go a long way, though. Do not use it in vain.
He pulls a face at you. Fine, whatever. Remember.
If you give the matron who runs the church there any sass, you will answer to my bears.
There's a grimace about when you say matron. He's like, I have had enough of matrons.
Not this one.
Go and do what you need to do. I'm going to do what I need to do.
I also hand in my greater healing potion that I've made.
He looks at it.
This is for you.
Right.
You do not give this to others. This is for you.
Uh-huh.
Am I clear?
Well, I mean, no. Because I'm not going to give it to anyone.
I don't know if he's agreeing with me or not. That's just shrugs.
Mm-hmm.
I will find you.
Yes, you haven't had it turning up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Usually that's helpful for you. You got away from our sister's eye several times, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And Field 7.
You think you remember correctly.
Like, I kind of look up and it's like, Gillespie, why'd you give me these things to test me? And walks out.
Somewhere in the greater cosmic realm, you guys can almost hear the grinding of teeth and the very whispered. And you just bitch that boy right across his face. It's
It was more for his brother's benefit than the mysteries.
so. You guys have some time to think about what you're about to do.
Okay, so how are we giving her the good 1 and 2? Like, are we pull pants down and run? She grins. First we have to get there. Where does she reside? My home, I would imagine. She wouldn't give up that seat of power. Okay. I would imagine she'll be near the shrine. Straight into the hive mind. God. Mm-hmm. There are a few back passages we can take. Alright. Chance of survival. 2%. Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to. Okay. If we can find a viable plant that can get us all out very quickly.
Viable plants.
Well, I haven't seen a tree around here, so...
Viable plant would be one big enough for us to walk through, right?
Yeah. So at least it doesn't have to be tall. I look at Red Sun. A little round though. Wide though.
I mean, my solution is write out if you need something big enough to walk through.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
could just suck in his gut and walk sideways through.
I doubt we could use your arm.
I mean,
for
it's a plant.
anything.
It needs to be big enough to hold a portal. To walk
I
through.
mean, it literally changes shape. How do we know that we can't implore Illustry and Gond to aid us?
I'm not sure that's how that spell works.
Give it time.
Our other option will require us to have a little time.
Luckily, we have a time wizard.
I would need someone to buy me a minute.
Oh dear.
I can certainly at least try.
But
And my hammer.
it would require us. It would allow us to cover vast distances very quickly. As you know, that thing I do where I become like the wind.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That assumes that your mother is going to allow you to cast the spell in the first place.
well, I'm hoping she'll be suitably
Distracted.
yes, but it is not something I can do whilst we're fighting her.
Or at least not while you're fighting her.
Any of us, really.
I'm assuming we've all kind of had or are having breakfast at this
Well,
point.
while this is happening, after breakfast, I would like to bestow the gift of alacrity to you all. Just a little
Which does what
pep in your
again?
step. Adds a. She'll explain. It puts a little pep in your step during battle, but it gives you a D8 for initiative rolls,
Additional D8 to initiative rolls.
and it lasts 8 hours.
This is gonna be amazing.
So, after breakfast, she will go ahead and spend. There's 4 of us, yes. All 4 of her first level spell slots, and then gain it back through a short rest of arcane recovery.
Okay, did you add... I need to give you a handout, because it might actually be useful for you to have that handout. Hang on. If I thought about it, I would have given you this ahead of time, but I didn't consider it until afterwards.
Handout?
Yeah, you've got a snazzy magical item. You think it doesn't come with a handout?
That was his regular arcane grimoire.
I mean, yes, but no. How do I move these again? Oh my god, I'm having a moment. Other virtual tables are available for 27 moment. Please hold.
Sorry about this out.
Voila. You guys may or may not be able to see a token. Don't ask. Just remove that. That was an experiment that went horribly, horribly wrong the other day. I was asked a question regarding a creature, so I looked at the creature. I may or may not have breastshowed flares by accident.
Are you talking about the thing of which I cannot pronounce?
Is it a giant, angry-looking, chained down blob of pus?
I was going to say, like, mouths upon
Yep.
mouths upon mouths.
Yes. It's a
Yeah, I was
Syrinx.
going to ask you about that, but I didn't want to do it while we were recording.
Close it. And don't think about it anymore. The more you think about it, the worse it gets. And so, are there any other preparations you guys want to undertake?
I do want to revisit the dwarf.
The dwarf is still asleep in his bed.
I am going to do my best to wake him.
As soon as you make physical contact with him, he flinches and sits up, and looks at you and goes, "What are you?" Blah, blah, blah."
It's time to fart.
You hear this small keening noise, just high pitched, the edge of your hearing. The dwarf looks uncomfortable as he shifts. Good night. That's what he says.
I'm going to expand one use of lesser restoration on him.
He hears him back. I mean, he goes straight as he sits up. You may need to leave. He twitches quickly.
I step out of the room.
There is a large-scale fart.
And when you're done, step out, please. We're
He doesn't
preparing, and you're
cease.
part of this.
Oops. He doesn't cease for some time.
Okay, I yell this over the ongoing noise.
Yeah, there's a "I'll try" that returns over the ongoing fart that continues for some time. A minute passes.
We can find you a weapon and whatnot. Just, yep, I'll be
2
over
minutes
there.
pass. The stench begins to cause your eyes to water, Red Sam, from outside the door.
I step further away.
There's a pained noise that comes from inside the room. Well, just not see. And then after 5 horrendous minutes, and several of the drow falling over and like scrabbling at their throats in pain, the rest of you are all grimace as this now stinks out this area of this main cabin. The dwarf kicks the door open and goes, "I feel great," he says loudly. Then he deeply inhales and goes, "Oh, somebody let someone die here."
I mean, we purposefully didn't let something die. That's why it stinks.
Ah.
Right. Let's get over there.
Over there.
I indicate where the rest of the wanderers are.
The dwarf waddles along behind you. Periodically, there's a small fart noise.
Right. I take it you haven't had breakfast yet?
Well, if I did, pretty sure I just oxidized it.
Well, we'll see what we can get you sorted with.
Hammer would be good. Just any sort.
Hammer? What?
Or an axe.
How about a whip?
I mean, you're not my type.
Listen, cheeky. Talk about the weapon.
Yeah.
We may not have access to things you're comfortable with, but we can get you things that you could be deadly with.
The dwarf is handed a makeshift short sword by a drow.
I offer him my use of the whip.
He's like, "I'm fine without the whip. The drow stabby stick will. The butter knife. Wouldn't it need
This
to
is
cut
going
my
to.
steak?"
Pod cooler.
This whip will cut through flesh like butter.
I have
It is
an
made by a friend.
actual short sword you can use if you want.
I have this. I pull out one of my many scimitars that I keep in my bag of holding.
So look, I have this one, and this one, and this one.
This one's got red on the hilt.
He takes it. I like red. There's a scimitar and a drow short sword. He's like, "Yeah, this will do."
I've also got a spare bow if you need one.
He looks you dead in the eye and he goes, "I'm a dwarf."
I have a
I
crossbow.
don't know.
Have you ever known a dwarf to use a bow?
I know exactly 2 dwarfs. One of them makes our beer, and the other one is you.
Exactly.
What am I then? Says the new dwarf.
Oh,
But I don't know you. We
Alice.
haven't even been introduced yet.
Alice, meet the Lord's son.
Hello.
Hi.
He's feeling much better this morning.
It's a shame the rest of us aren't.
Look, just because I had to enact a necessary amount of chemical warfare,
I
Look.
hate this place.
when someone says, don't give a dwarf indigestion, they aren't kidding.
I
don't know
hate
if
this
so you did that in
place.
front of the matron. No. So amusing.
So,
Right, have we all eaten this morning?
Yes, while you were sleeping.
What about the rest of us?
Yes.
everyone is fed.
Prestige take the air around her head to smell like roses.
You are unable to make it smell like roses. Not even magic can mask the putridity of this horrible stench of fart.
It's not working. I became a wizard for this. Why is it not working?
The dwarf just looks you dead in the eye and goes, arts and magic for all of their own kind.
I don't like that sorcery.
What sorcery is this? It's a school of flatulence. So it's at this point, you've had breakfast, you've started your preparations. Logically, it makes sense to have an early finish here. Because we're not going to get very far in 15 minutes.
I was going to say, could we get there in 15 minutes? I was hopeful.
You've got a long way to go, and the only way you've got to get there as 2 very big, very angry, like these monsters hunt waiting for you.
So, we have to go out the way we came in.
It's the only way you know. Or you have to find a path, which involves navigating and then dealing with whatever challenges that may or may not turn up. Which will take time that we do not have this evening.
Fair enough.
So, other than that, I'll let them know. And it's where we're going to leave this evening. The party is preparing for and face whatever's left of Zanzyks mother. Thank you for joining us. And this will be available where you normally find our podcast at some point when it gets done. And this is the point where I'm going to go. Does everyone want to say goodbye? Because you said hello earlier.
Cheerio!
Beth's muted.
See ya.
Bye-bye,
Thanks, Valen.
podcast listeners.
Ciao.
Good night, and wish the party good luck.